Circuit of Nogaro is in a beautiful place of France. It's in the southwest. A lot of heritage and history is coming from his curves and his straight. And is very famous because some great driver has been associated with the track across the year. Nogaro was the first purpose-built racetrack in France, and it was created by Mr. Divier, which his daughter is now the director of the circuit, and it happens also that he's an FIA race director, the motorsport lady of France. Is Caroline Divier the name. The very unique thing that happened in this work is that it was for the first time for us that we have a circuit director that was so passionate, that was with us the whole time. Every moment we can count to her passion and her knowledge to support the decision and deal properly with the contractor. The circuit lived three eras. The first one was when her father designed and built it. Immediately it started with cars and bikes racing on the surface. But then it happened that part of the land was sold and the development of the circuit had to cover a different areas. And the track became shorter and twisty, as we know, and it happens in this moment. We had the task to bring the circuit in its third era, so the future. What we did was to apply our whole knowledge and process. We went there months before. We started to do full laser scan of the circuit at millimetric level. We just rebuilt a digital twin of the circuit, and then we apply our skills to understand how we can improve this particular circuit. So once we had a digital twin, we elaborated a new shape just to take away the long waviness that we found in the previous construction and to aid all the drainage of the track. And then we implemented this with a specific autonomous system for the milling machines to give the shape that we needed. Of course, all the mix design was done specifically for Nogaro. We decided to implement different aggregates because the previous asphalt was done of two different mixes. One part was porous, and this proved not to be, let's say, feasible for racing purposes. And so the desire of our client, that was always with us, was just to have a consistent surface and durable surface for much longer than it was the previous one. The first advanced team came on the track immediately just to oversee the start of the excavation works related to the new T11, T12, where we had problem of water and we had to decide with the contractor which was the best methodology to apply. Then the second team came, but only after the digging started out and was almost complete, when we had to start the quality controls on the subbase and the foundation. So we had some issues on the geologies, we found solution with the contractor, and then the works continued. What we are doing is just to work with the client and with the contractor. What we like is to establish a real relationship with the contractor in a way that we can work together for the same scope, for the same target, and deliver the best project and the best product we can together with them. So the works at T11, T12 continued flawlessly, but then we had a lot of bad weather. With the bad weather, basically we had a full swimming pool near the new T11 and T12. The idea of the contractor was to bring a lot of big stones, big rocks, and we monitor while they just laid layer by layer. We did layer scanning between all the layers and we understood if the geometry was right. In Nogaro we had many parts that were just working concurrently. And this was the first time for Nogaro that they saw a methodology like this. The milling process was counting on two different milling machines. One was equipped with an autonomous system that was just taking our design of the truck to build the geometries that we were foreseeing, not only with the thickness level, we were dictating also with the milling plan, what we were milling first, what we were milling second, which kind of machine it was actually doing some part of the job, in a way that we can just put everything together, from the trials, from the mix design and production, during the milling. Dromo's approach in the remodeling of the existing circuit is born in 2018. Basically, we are talking about sculpting the surface. We take the surface that we have with a very precise model, and we understand where we can improve it. The reason why we decide to sculpt in this way is because many times the sub-layer that we find, even it seems not good enough for a road, it proves to be good enough for a racetrack, because the way the racetrack is used and the loads that we have is very different. So we find very efficient to take out only what is really strictly necessary and just to have a very safe and sound base with the right shape to be laid perfectly in the end. While the milling was going on, the works in T11 continued, and we are now producing the asphalt at the plant. Once the milling was almost over, we were able to do in parallel also the trials. We analyze always the more difficult part to pave, and we try to replicate during the trials, but we are also helping the crews to understand what they will face in the worst part of the truck. Each truck has its own recipe. Why this? Because every truck is different. It's different in character, it's different in layout, it's different the characteristic of the stone, and they expect different things from the truck itself. So every time we do something that is different from another one, so we can optimize the design performance of the mix for every project that we run. So on the mix design, we gave it a name. The name of this one was Armagnac, you know, the name of the circuit, but also the liquor that is coming from the region. So after the first trial, that was already good, we did another one because we would like to fine-tune the setup of the machines. And to do so, we basically used a parking lot that need to be resurfaced as a trial site, in a way that now our client has also not wasted the asphalt that we had to lay down for the trial itself. Just to give you an idea on the complexity of a job site like this, imagine a truck of 3-point-something kilometers that is divided in sector. So there is one sector that is the place where we were building the new T11 and T12. The other one was the part where we were doing the trial test. The other one was where we were milling. And another one where we were repairing the surface that we were found broken or not clean enough. All this was coordinated by the Dromo team. So the day that we started the paving in T11 and T12, in the meantime, we had one of the pavers that was just welding and was repairing some parts, while another one was bringing rollers that were not suitable, and so we had to change the rollers. But in the same time, we had two crews that were working on the milling machine in autonomous drive, but of course always supervised by the human. Then we had other two machines that were cleaning the surface. We had a crew that was just using the geotextile to fix all the cracks that we were finding. all this need a tremendous amount of coordination, and this is why we are doing the difference on the field more than on the design. But then you need to take into account that you have another variable, that is the weather. So we had to understand what to do, and the decision taken was just to reduce the initial schedule in a shorter one. And to do so, we had to decide and take the decision with the contractor to start the paving on one side of the circuit, while the other side of the circuit was just about milling. This requires, of course, a lot of efforts. We started with the shortcuts. The north and the south were paved, and we learned a lot of lessons, especially the crews that before made the trials mainly on the straight, understood that working in three pavers, coordinated with the speed that are determined, with the right thickness, and monitor all of this, was something that they never did. And they found it very challenging. So the first day of paving on the track started for the wearing course, and we found issues immediately. Our forecast was that we needed a certain amount of trucks. After the first 3 hours, we had not enough material. So we had the time to analyze all what was going on, what was good and what was bad. Of course, all the teams understood that using three pavers in echelon in V formation was not that easy. Because of the banking, the trucks were just spinning on one side. They were not able to stay in line. They were very difficult in going back on the paver and unload it. And this was not expected by the drivers. We had to find solution also to this while we were going on. Sometimes we have to use a backloader. So we finished slightly shorter than what we were expecting as our paving plan and the target. But the evening debrief sees the plan change for the following day because, again, the weather prediction had worsened for Thursday. So Thursday was beautiful in a sense. We woke up very early in the morning, and the weather forecast was telling us that ice formation were coming. And indeed, the car was a full block of ice. So not easy to arrive to the track, but definitely we would not be able to start until the weather was bringing us warmer temperatures. But in the same time, we had the opportunity to have one local rider, superbike level bike that was coming to the track just to use the very same, the day after, all the stretch that we did the first day. In a way that we can just control what we were seeing on the lasers was also something that was felt from the rider, and we had to do or redo part of that, or it were acceptable. We had an issue, a very strong issue with one of the rollers. One roller broke down completely the piping. The hydraulic oil was leaking everywhere on a section. We started to just clean and clean and clean and clean while we were still waiting for the trucks, because also that day the trucks were not enough. Still, again, 3, 4, 5 things doing in the same time, while we were also milling another part of the truck because it was not completed yet. So the paving continues, the spill is managed, and the team working top of the night to finish past turn 10. That day also our robo-plotters retired very, very exhausted. End of the day was very long, even if it started later because of the ice. After the debrief, we understand that the weather forecast is not giving us good news. So we plan to finish the day after by hook or crook. So the things are getting complex. We are paving, but we are also at the last day, so the crews are more used to it. We are plotting in the same time the runoff of T11 and T12 with the Nogaro logo. And then Porsche GT3 car arrives, so we can try and test the first 2/3 of the track already completed to complement the LiDAR scan that we have ongoing. So in the end, the finish of the paving, you can see the pride in the team of Dromo, but also in the team of the circuit that was always with us, the team of the contractor. No one was expecting that we were able to deliver in so few days. So that was the moment where everybody understood that we were able to do this because we were a unique team. Every one of us, from the first to the very last, worked for the same target and definitely to give to Nogaro the best of his era with the next one. So in the end, each track is unique. This was a very important project for us with the passion and the teamwork that we can put together. Nogaro for us is special. It hosted World Championship, but definitely is a track that was designed and built by a father, run by the daughter. We had the responsibility, trust and privilege to work its next stage with Caroline and for all the people of Nogaro and the region that will have the opportunity to go on this track.